Hi Stampers, this is Susan Petty Baylor. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Connecticut in the United States, and today I wanted to share with you my December year-end thank you for my current customers. These are gifts that I'm making for current customers. It's a calendar and notepad wallet. They actually open and have post-it notes and a 2001 calendar on the inside, and they close with a magnetic closure, so they're easy to put in your purse, have on your desk. These calendars I purchased from Kevin Esty. He's a Canadian demonstrator. These are 3 5/8 by 2 1/8 padded calendar, meaning just that they are on a piece of cardboard with glue at the top to make them a pad. And Kevin, with a purchase of these calendars, included the tutorial for this project. So thank you to Kevin. It was actually quite easy. We're going to go ahead and do that. The calendar base, so obviously first you choose your designer series paper, and then you pick a color that coordinates with the paper you chose. This particular designer series paper that I'm using is from Peaceful Poppies. It's retired. It was from 2019-2020 annual catalog. And I'm using Blackberry Bliss as my base, and you can see that I have scored. So you basically are just cutting the 8.5 by 11 piece of cardstock in half, right down the middle at 4 1/4. And then it's scored at 3 1/4, 3 1/2, 7 3/4, and 8. You then fold all along all the score lines and burnish. And when you're folding, before you burnish, make sure that you're matching up the sides so that they're nice and even. This is the perfect time to fix any slight crookedness in a cut. So remember, you want the raised portion of the scoring on the inside of your fold. By doing that, you'll just get less cracking of cardstock. So once this is all folded, I chose a coordinating color. I actually chose crushed curry, and I cut this first front piece of crushed curry with the largest rectangle. Oops, let me get this. The largest rectangle from the Stitched So Sweetly dies. I love these dies. I love the little scallop around the edge with the stitching. I just really like all that detail. I stamped the sentiment in Blackberry Bliss, which coordinates with the Blackberry Bliss base, and I cut it out using the largest tag, also from the Stitched So Sweetly framelits. And then I mounted it onto the crushed curry piece, and I'm putting that on the front. It says, "To the woman who does it all with grace and wisdom," and this is from the stamp set Strong and Beautiful, and it's got some great Happy Mother's Day sentiments in it, but it's also got some lovely other sentiments just about strong and beautiful women. There's, "I cherish you, my true friend. I know I can always count on you. You are like a diamond, resilient, strong, and beautiful." I love that one. And "To the woman who does it all with grace and wisdom," which is the one that I chose to use on the front of my wallet. I like to use magnet closures for this particular project, and I have a stack of some rare earth magnets. They are quite strong, and I'm going to put this towards the top of my project. This is actually 2 magnets. They're quite thin, And I'll slide off the other magnet. I'm going to remember which side was stuck to that other magnet and put a glue dot on the opposite side. And I'm going to leave that here on my roll of glue dots and set that aside for just a minute. And that when you cut your designer series paper, you're going to have 3 panels 4 inches wide, and this entire panel will do one project. Now you can do this also with 6x6 designer series paper, but there's more waste. But if that's what you have, that's okay. You would use 2 sheets of 6x6 designer series paper and cut the mats in the same size. So I'm just going to put some glue on the back of this and glue this. I'm just going to center this designer series paper on this panel. And I want to hold that down because it's raised just a little bit. This designer series paper has a tendency to want to bulge if it's not glued down well. So I'm just going to hold that down for a few seconds and give that glue a chance to adhere. Okay, perfect. And then I like the back side of this, so I'm going to just to switch it up and make it a little more interesting. I'm going to use the back side of this designer series paper, or I should say the flip side. It's not really a back side. For that center 4x4 panel. Oops. And I'm going to take this 4x2 3/4 inch piece, and that's going to go down here on the bottom panel. And then I have a calendar that is mounted onto a piece of crushed curry cardstock. And let's see, this piece is 3 3/4 by 2 3/8. I'm going to center that on the bottom here. It's really unfortunate. I checked Kevin Estes' website, and these are out of stock. I have a half of a pad of Post-it notes. I actually just, split it in half because a full Post-it note in here would just be too thick. So half of a pad really does it. This is a standard 3x3 size pad, and it's mounted on a 3 1/8 by 3 1/8 piece of crushed curry cardstock. And then I'm just going to check and make sure I have the opening of the pad where I want it, and center this on this panel. Now, if you don't like liquid glue, that's perfectly fine. I like it because it gives me just a few seconds to move things around and get them straight. You could also use tear and tape, or you could use the new Stampin' Seal Plus tape runner on that. And I'm going to close this up. And I'm going to take this other magnet that already has a glue dot on it. If you get it anywhere near that magnet, it's just going to right on there. I'm going to line up the sides of my wallet, and I'm going to give this a press, and that will stay right there. And I believe I already said, maybe I didn't, if you forget to put your magnet on your project until after you've glued down your designer series paper, that's perfectly fine. If the magnet is showing, I just happen to like it hidden, but there's nothing wrong with it being exposed. So this is the 4 by 2¼ inch piece, and that's going to go down here towards the bottom, towards the fold of your wallet. That is just a tiny bit crooked, but I guess it's adhered enough that it's not going anywhere. Give that a good press, and voila, all done. Let me show you some of the other colors that I did. This is the same Peaceful Poppies Designer Series paper. This one I used with the Old Olive because it coordinates with the flip side, the Old Olive stripe. This is also from Peaceful Poppies. It's mounted on the Poppy Parade cardstock, and I used Blackberry Bliss as my coordinating cardstock, and used the flip side of that paper. Here's one using the Lily Impressions Designer Series paper. This was from Celebration last January, February, March, which, by the way, Celebration this year is going to be just January and February, and then again there's a second Celebration that will be in, I believe it was July and August. So we have Celebration and a spring catalog coming out just in a few weeks. But this is beautiful Designer Series paper. This was free with a $50 purchase. A pack of 12 by 12 Designer Series paper. I used Flirty Flamingo and Highland Heather, and I actually stamped this in Gorgeous Grape because it's just a little bit darker than the Highland Heather to stamp, and I think it shows up better. Here's one again with the Lily Impressions. That's so gorgeous, and this is on Bermuda Bay cardstock with Melon Mambo as the coordinating color. And here's last one. This is also the Lily Impressions Designer Series paper, and it is mounted on Lovely Lipstick, and this is Pretty Peacock as the coordinating color. Okay, so like I said, this is my thank you gift to my current customers in December of 2020. If you're a current customer of mine, you'll be getting this in the mail with a Christmas card. Hopefully in the next couple of days, I will be sending them out. If you like this video, I would really appreciate a thumbs up. And if you click on the subscribe bar just below the video and then click on the bell icon, YouTube will notify you anytime I upload a new video. So that's it. Happy stamping. Thanks for watching.